Week 10 of the Shy Sports Weekly podcast. We are back with the boys, Kyle and Ty. I'm feeling good, guys. I don't know. How about you?
Ooh, we are feeling great. Great.
Probably the best I've
Ty,
felt
how we doing?
since we started doing this show.
Feeling a little sick, but I think that's because I ate too much at dinner, dude. But I'm feeling all right.
I don't know if we've had an episode where you aren't feeling sick, hungover, nuts to guts to bubble nuts, or
I know I try to come on all fired up,
lines.
and Psalm is just never feeling good.
my bad, dude. I had too much chow lo mein.
I was listening to NSYNC in that headset a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I yammed out a little too hard to the NSYNC. Bye.
But yeah, we're back for week 10, the Ron Santo week.
Oh, the Ron Santo week. You took it right off the tip of my tongue there. I'm gonna go the Marquise Wilson week.
Marquise Wilson, nice. Okay. I'm gonna stick with the Chicago faithful with the retired jerseys, the Bob Love week.
Bob Love, number 10. I was actually thinking of number 10s for the Bulls. Maybe that's why I couldn't think of any because
Jay Armstrong, that's another. Those are the only two I could come up with.
So they retired Bob Love's jersey after BJ Armstrong played in it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's kind of weird.
It's like I never understand that. It's like the Cubs retiring Fergie's jersey, but only after Greg Maddux wore it for 15 years. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess. And it's going to be like the Cubs retiring 34 for both Lester and Wood. It's like,
right.
It doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I digress.
What up the foul poles.
Another number 10, Yoan Moncada week.
It's a good one. Alexi Ramirez. Stick with the Sox.
Was Alexi number 10? Fuck. Shit, I'm running low here, so I'm gonna have to go with the nuclear option. Mitchell Trubisky week.
10 God.
The 10 God.
10 God no more. This might be the last time we speak of the 10 God.
Always
what
in
a
our
perfect
hearts.
episode to segue away from Trubisky for good.
R.I.P. Mitch. Bring in Justin.
Bring in Justin Fields.
Oof.
The Ohio State product.
Oof,
Ryan Pace did it
pick.
again. He went out and got his guy. He traded up in the first round and he got his guy.
I'll tell you this about Ryan Pace. Besides a great head of hair, that guy has huge balls.
Besides a great head of hair, he gets his guys.
He gets his guys. He traded up from 20 to 11, traded the pick with the Giants. I believe it was next year's first rounder as well. And then fourth and fifth rounder from this year.
Yep.
To be honest, I don't think that's much to give up.
I don't either. I mean, people are saying they
all.
traded this year's first rounder and next, but really when you think about it, they were just sliding up from 20 to 11. So realistically, they gave up next year's first, fourth, and a fifth. And
think of what they gave up for Mitch. They went up one spot. They went from 3 to 2. They gave up the 2018 and 2019, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Those first rounders. So essentially 2 or 3 they swapped in 2017. So 2 other picks. You're moving up 9 spots this year to get a quarterback who's a proven winner, was in the national championship game, beat Clemson in the college football playoff with 1 touchdown, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdown passes.
Yeah, stop there. That's good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Thanks for coming. Mitch did 6 touchdowns one day before.
I'll do the first overall pick, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and a lot of scouts had him as their first overall or their number 1 ranked quarterback in the class. So
I saw that too. Like 25% of NFL scouts said that he should have been. He's really the number 1 talent at quarterback in the draft class, which is interesting.
Yeah, I love this move. I don't know how you could be a Bears fan and not like this move. What was your reaction when you saw on the ticker or on Twitter that the Bears were moving up?
I just
the pick was
started dripping sweat.
Would you?
I was basically thinking to myself, don't do this to me again.
Did you know they were going Fields with that pick?
I was just about to ask. Did you think they were going? I mean, yes. I wasn't convinced.
I knew it was. I knew it was either Fields or Mac Jones, and I was like, please don't fuck this up. Don't
not
do
Kellen Mond.
Don't take Mac Jones. And I think everyone's saying that Pace crushed this draft with some of the picks he made later on too. I think everywhere I've seen the Bears have graded like A- or higher, and I really think he made the right pick there. He made some good picks later on, but I am all the way back in on the Bears.
we've jokingly said, no, I guess not really jokingly, but we've said that Ryan Pace is a 2nd to 5th or 2nd to 6th round drafter. And we'll get to those draft picks in a second here, but you think this move makes him a 1st to 6th round drafter now? Is this a good pick?
It makes me forget about everything else that he's ever done wrong.
There's so much to get into with this. I mean, you have Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields.
Can you think of any two better guys to learn from?
Yeah, I
I
can.
can too. I can think of a lot.
Pretty much any other 2 quarterbacks.
Think of quite a few guys. We could make a full episode just naming 2 better guys to learn from.
So I don't know if last week I said you can't win with a quarterback who wears number 1. Justin Fields wears number 1.
Oh, I thought we cut that part.
Did we cut that part? If
Well,
not,
if we didn't, we're gonna go back and cut it now.
we're gonna cut this and that, but either way, we'll keep it rolling here. But yeah, so I said that, hand up, that's on me. I don't believe that anymore. I actually didn't think the Bears were gonna get him.
It's
I was a little
officially
bitter
fake
that
news.
I thought Ryan Pace his balls would have swallowed up into his stomach and he would have been scared to trade up for a quarterback after what happened with Mitch.
Yeah,
But he proved that he waddles because his balls are so big.
right. I mean, going into draft night, like when I was getting ready to sit down to watch this, I figured he was gonna just take a safe pick at 20. I honestly thought they were gonna get Tevin Jenkins at 20. I thought he was gonna draft an offensive lineman, and then maybe with their 2nd round pick, he would take Kellen Mond. But he trades up, he gets Fields, which some might call this a desperation move. But I think the fact that Fields
Who would call this a desperation move?
just the fact that him and Nagy are basically saying, all right, we need to go get a guy and we need to show ownership in the city that we're serious about winning and that we're trying to make it happen quickly.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, a desperation move in that sense, but it's, it'd be a desperation move if it was like, and this was in 2017 and like they moved all the way up to get a guy like Mitch, where he's only had 13 starts, but Justin Fields, he's
right.
I mean, he was was he, I'm going to probably sound like an idiot. Was he not a Heisman finalist one of these past 2 years?
He was in 2019. He came in 3rd in Heisman voting, and he was like him and Jalen Hurts basically had the same amount of votes for 2nd and 3rd behind Joe Burrow.
And he was behind Burrow. Yeah.
Right.
So why don't you walk me through his stats at Ohio State, because his stats are unbelievable.
Yeah, video game type shit. We'll walk through his first full season at Ohio State. Not sure if everyone knows this, but he did play his freshman year at Georgia and transferred to Ohio State after basically riding pine behind Jake Fromm, who wound up being, I think, a 3 or 4 year starter for Georgia. But basically, Fields got out of there, went over to Ohio State, became the starter immediately, and all he did with that opportunity was throw for 3,200 yards, had 484 rushing, 41 touchdowns through the air, 10 on the ground, and then my favorite stat from that season, he had 3 interceptions. Like that is fucking impressive.
And that's all one season?
Yeah, that's all one.
Oh.
I mean, that TD interception ratio, like
41-3.
absurd.
Hey, Psalm, stat guy Ty. Is that good?
I hate to say this, but it reminds me of like an Aaron Rodgers type season.
It seems okay. Like I'm not a college guy, so I don't really know, but it sounds okay.
Yeah, people forget Ty didn't go to college.
No, I was there. I just didn't go to class. There's a difference.
He went,
we
he
know.
just didn't go.
Yeah, hey, listen, we know.
We know. But yeah, like I said, he finished 3rd in Heisman voting in 2019 behind Hurts and Burrow. One spot ahead of Chase Young, his teammate, actually. And he was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year in 2019 and 2020. So
Don't you think this type of move almost for Pace and Nagy, it doesn't, or I shouldn't say it doesn't. I think it secures them being there after this year.
it's going to give them, I would say at least another 2 years. Basically,
It's like
as
a security
soon
blanket.
Yeah, exactly. Put that perfectly. As soon as Fields takes
you-
over, I think that's when their clock starts ticking, basically.
You can't fire a quarterback after 1 year with or 1 year of, I'll say, development with a quarterback. It's like, come on, I've only had a year with my guy. I need more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they're not going to bring in a new GM then where he has a lame duck coach because that's not his guy. So this is almost them securing, they're playing checkers. They're playing chess while we're playing checkers, or we're playing goldfish.
Right. They're playing all kinds of games. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the other thing that impressed me about Fields was obviously the 3 interceptions throughout the full 2019 season. But that Clemson game, I mean, his toughness is like definitely at least a 97 in Madden. Guy takes a hit, a crack to the ribs, and comes back in the game, and all he does is throw for 385 yards and 6 touchdowns to beat Clemson to head to the national championship.
By the way, I love nothing more than comparing real life football to Madden football. It's literally my favorite thing ever. So
Well, it's something everyone can relate to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when I was trying to put his toughness on a scale and I told you Madden 97, you understood.
Bingo, knew it.
But if you compare it to anything else, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, that Clemson Ohio State game. You know what? This is probably me, a degenerate gambler, but you always remember the games that you really win on. I had Ohio State money line, and they were +7.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, I hammer them every which way.
So you've loved Justin Fields for a while now.
Yeah. As again, that goes back to my take. Number ones always win. If you wear number one, you have to win.
Number 1 on the field and number 1 in Kyle's book.
In my pocketbook. But that also goes to my theory that you can't win with long hair. So Trevor Lawrence, suck it. Idiot.
We're gonna that the jury's still out on that one.
I'm gonna say
Sure, he won in college, but
I guess just kind of a quick recap of we'll say top 11. Any surprises for you?
no, not really.
Trey Lance.
I was gonna say if I were to think of one, I'd say Lance, I guess, is the bigger surprise at going at 3, just because I told you in the last episode that I thought Fields was at worst the 3rd quarterback off the board. So I was kind of surprised that Shanahan went in that direction, but no one's going to question him, obviously. So we'll see how that works out.
Before the draft, if you would have had to give a percentage of odds or the likelihood that the Bears would have landed Justin Fields, whether it was via trade or somehow him falling to 20, what would you have put it at?
Thinking 10% or less. I was really thinking that there was a chance that they would trade up to get a quarterback, but I don't think they made that decision until they got to like the 7th, 8th, 9th pick, and they saw that he was still on the board. And they're thinking, all right, we can trade up to like 11 or 12 at this point, and we'll be able to grab it. But I don't think they really knew that they were going to be able to do that until moments before the actual trade happened.
Yeah, and so I was reading today that
you were reading.
Not to brag, I could read a little bit. Hey, do you guys know I have my MBA? So I was reading that the Bears, it all kind of came into fruition when the Panthers took, what's his name, J.C. Horn, Joe Horn's kid from the corner from South Carolina. There was a lot of, I mean, I know they just traded.
Funny how Joe Horn's kid is a DB too. He must have stone hands.
Do you see Joe Horn was pissed that ESPN didn't give his kid enough coverage when he got drafted?
Come on.
Swear to God. Fuck you.
I mean, everyone's doing the same shit. They're just,
I know, like, what do you, yeah, dude, like, what? Do something cool then.
Right. All right.
JC.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Didn't mean to bring Joe Horn into the program here. So
the only time you talk about Joe Horn is the cell phone celebration. That's it.
Yeah, right. That's what I wanted to say that, but I wasn't sure if that was him or Marquise Colson. I couldn't remember.
No, that's Joe Horn.
Fuck. I'm not even high. Couldn't remember. All right, so I'm looking at the draft order here. So it actually went at 7. So 7 Lions, 8 Panthers, 9 Broncos. All 3 of those quarterbacks, or all 3 of those teams, if they drafted Justin Fields, it would not have been a stretch, correct?
Right. No, not at all.
It's very well within the realm of possibility. Yeah, the Lions have Jared Goff. The Panthers they just traded for Sam Darnold, but the Broncos.
Elway is known to always go and get a top tier big name quarterback.
I mean, but the I'm shocked. Tickle me pink. shocked. I don't know if that's the right way to use tickle me pink. I can't believe they didn't draft Justin Fields.
Right. I would not be surprised. Hot take. You heard it here first. Remember this tweet. I would not be surprised if Elway is working on trying to get Rodgers in a Broncos uniform.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if John Elway's a racist.
No. Why? Is there something about that I don't know?
No, but he just likes big, tall, white quarterbacks.
Well, a la Peyton Manning. I would not be surprised if he went the same route with Rodgers and tried to cash in on his last couple of years.
Yeah, Brock Osweiler had him.
Yes.
Yeah, besides that, I'm not too sure. That was the only ammo I had there.
I don't think
that was talking Broncos quarterbacks.
It's talking history of Broncos quarterbacks. Welcome to Denver Sports Weekly.
Who was the other guy they had with Locke? There was like a QB battle between Locke and someone else.
Case Keenum?
I think that's right, actually. Yeah.
But he's small. He's like 6 feet.
We don't talk about those guys.
And then Trevor Siemian before that, in between Brock Osweiler and okay, that's enough Broncos.
I guess so you asked me if there was anything that surprised me within the first 10 picks. The thing that doesn't really make sense to me is how Devontae Smith is not the consensus first wide receiver off the board. After he just rips up college football, does nothing but tear apart college football all season and even in the national championship. From start to finish, like how do you not take that guy?
He is the best. Heisman obviously the best player, but he's legitimately like the best receiver. So he was actually the third receiver, which is bananas to be drafted in the first round. So Jamar Chase went to the Bengals, LSU connection with Joe Burrow. This one surprised me. The Jalen Waddle to Miami.
Yeah.
And that's not saying Jalen Waddle's not a first round talent. Look at me like Mel Kiper over here, but it's more like how the fuck do you not draft Devonta Smith?
Right, exactly. Actually, Devontae Adams, since you brought him up, he said, if you ever spell my name wrong, just make sure you spell it the way that Devontae Smith spells his name.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't like that guy though, but whatever.
So yeah, that was, I guess that was the other surprise was I would say Lance and then Devontae Smith. The Eagles desperately needed a wide receiver, so that should be a pretty good pickup for them.
I always think it's weird when interdivision rivals. So, for example, like interdivision rivals trade. So the Eagles traded up from Dallas's pick, Cowboys, 2 spots. Yeah. I don't know. It just.
I agree.
Could you see the Bears doing that with the Lions, Vikings, or Packers?
No, especially not Green Bay.
Right? Like no shot. And I don't know. Everybody hates the Cowboys and Philly scumbags. I don't know. It just seemed odd to me. But here I'm gonna.
Vikings, though, you have to love that the Bears were on the right end of this for once. I saw a report that said the Vikings were shocked when the Bears traded up to give Fields, and then they were saying that they were going to take him at what pick did they have? 14.
14.
Yeah. So you love to see the Bears just sliding up and stealing a pick like that instead of being the other way around.
Oh yeah,
the Vikings wound up taking Mond in the second round.
Yeah, that undersized quarterback, Kellen Mond. He's a little guy. He's a small fella. Idiot. So I want to break down just kind of that 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 range and kind of what I was reading going and how quickly this trade progressed. So the Bears, obviously everything had to fall right. 7, 8, 9, they couldn't take quarterbacks or they couldn't take Justin Fields because apparently Ryan Pace wasn't going to trade up for Mac Jones from what I heard. It was only going to be Justin Fields. So Mac Jones, certified Hall of Famer right now.
I'm sure Mac Jones will make it work under Belichick, but I would much rather see them take a shot on Fields than Jones.
Me too, which I'm completely fine with. So I guess the Panthers were the big hurdle. It was between J.C. Horn and Justin Fields. They didn't know. I shouldn't say they didn't know, but they were going back and forth on it, and it was a decision that was made, like, obviously as close to the time that the pick was delivered as possible,
That's crazy. And that sounds like me in my fantasy football drafts. I'm just standing there. No idea what to do. Sweating.
Yeah, but when you're doing that, you're absolutely loaded.
That's why I'm sweating.
Yeah. It's 95 out. You have no AC. So You're not a GM of an NFL team. I mean, and maybe Sam Darnold works out and Justin Fields. No, I'm not even going to say that, but I don't know. I just don't know how you take J.C. Horn over Justin Fields when Sam Darnold's your quarterback.
Lining up under center.
And plus you have what's the offensive coordinator's name? Joe Brady? Is that the LSU guy?
I believe so, yeah.
He's their offensive coordinator, and come on, he's like the next hot commodity.
Right. I mean, unless they think they can make it work with Darnold. Obviously, the guy's pretty talented, but I don't know. I mean, he's kind of shown his colors. He's seen ghosts. Like Sam Darnold might have already shown what he is by now, but obviously he was with the Jets. So,
and then I was reading. Obviously, the most difficult hurdle to pass was the Broncos, and Ryan Pace was trying to deal with them, but they were asking. They weren't asking, or they were asking for just an outrageous amount. And he's like, I don't, and I guess they just kind of had a gut feeling that with Vic Fangio that they weren't going to go
that's
Justin
interesting.
Fields.
I actually didn't know that. So you're saying that they were basically bluffing and trying to get as much as they could and squeeze.
Yeah. And the Bears like,
Ryan Pace.
The Bears like, no, because I believe at that time, Philly traded up with Dallas already. And so the next logical spot would have been New York and even New York, they wouldn't have drafted him. But after New York, I'm trying to think who was there. So the Cowboys, but I mean, at that point, obviously teams could keep trading back in the draft.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's, I guess, long-winded answer there is I think it's a great move by Ryan Pace. Way to negotiate, Ryan. Clap it up for you one time, finally.
I agree. Let's give credit where credit's due. We've been shitting on the guy for a long time.
Literally shitting down his throat.
The other thing I like about it is Fields seems like a big chip on the shoulder guy. You know, like when he after he sat for a season behind Fromm at Georgia and then transferred to Ohio State, they asked him about being drafted at 11, and with regard to that, he said, "I've gone through situations where I haven't been chosen. I think the world has seen the outcome of that." So it seems like he's kind of taking this a little personally that he was the fourth quarterback taken in this draft.
And he's referring to Jake Fromm, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess, but then he just went to Ohio State and started. So
right, exactly.
It worked out for him. So hey, I got this tidbit about him being the fourth quarterback taken in the draft. So good news for Bears fans. This is from John Breach on Twitter. Good news for Bears fans. They got Justin Fields. Bad news. Being the fourth quarterback taken in a draft.
Like I saw this tweet too.
Has been the kiss of death recently.
It was like Christian Hackenberg, fucking Drew Lock.
Fourth quarterbacks in the last 15 drafts. Jordan Love, Drew Lock, Josh Rosen, Deshaun Kaiser, Christian Hackenberg. Is that Sean Mannion?
I don't even know who that is.
Mannion, Derek Carr.
Is Sean Marion?
Sean Marion. Yeah, fuck. Wait, is this the right tweet?
You're reading an NBA tweet.
Derek Carr, Charles Barkley, Matt Barkley, Brandon Whedon, Christian Ponder, Colt McCoy. I don't know. I have no fucking idea who P. White is. Pretty White. No idea. Chad Henne. Who's Beck? Who the fuck is Beck?
That's the last name?
Beck, yeah.
I don't know.
And Kay Clemens. No idea who those last two are, so that's not Clemens. Good. Fuck that guy. No idea who he is.
So, I mean, here we are. We're just going to break trends. That's all we're doing.
You know what that means? No, I love that
One
tweet.
of them's got it.
You know why? It means we're due.
Exactly.
We're due. We are due. Tell me there's not a more team and a situation where a quarterback is more due than right now. Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay. Justin Fields. Bears are back.
Here, baby. It's spring in Chicago. There's a lot of dew on the ground. A lot of dew.
A lot of dew. A lot of it coming between my legs.
Before we move on to the remaining picks of the draft that Ryan Pace absolutely nailed. Last question. How soon before Justin Fields is
week 3
for the Bears? Week 3?
Week 3.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say week 4.
It's got to be week 3, right?
Yeah. That's what I think.
I mean, I don't know. That's actually that's a great question. I mean, so Andy Dalton's getting 10. Is it 10.5 a year?
Yeah, it's right around 10.
We'll say 10.5. I think Nick Foles.
I think Foles is 9. Or is it more than that?
I have no idea. I was gonna say 7, but we know who fucking knows. But yeah, Justin Fields right now it's like 4 years. I think like his contract and just where he slotted is like 4 years, 28 million.
Mhm.
Right. So I mean, fuck, if he can you get a quarterback on that contract and you build around him, pick up that 5th-year option. You got 5 years with Justin Fields.
It's 5 years to make it work. How he progresses in camp, in the preseason. How he looks with the playbook, how he looks with the first team offense, and then it's really going to depend on how they're playing in the first few games. Like if their defense is back to where they should be and they're playing hard football and Dalton can't move the fucking ball up and down the field, then they're gonna have a quick trigger finger, I think.
And I think that's gonna happen. And I think everybody's gonna be rooting against Andy Dalton here. I know I am.
Name 2 better guys to learn from. And before you do, just don't.
Did you like that little Photoshop I did? Just put Justin Fields' head on Andy Dalton on the Bears tweet that said QB1.
QB1, baby.
I think Freezing Cold Takes put this out, but if you look just through the Bears Twitter, all the times they overuse QB1. So now they've used it on 3 different quarterbacks within the past 6 months.
Well, it actually plays a little better now too, because
and none of them have been Justin Fields.
Fields is actually QB number 1. It's maybe this has been like a genius subliminal tweet, like message this entire time.
Did you see Justin Fields was at the Cubs game on last Monday?
Yeah, I did.
He was wearing a Cubs hat.
None of the fans actually knew it, but when the social media guy for the Bears was tweeting QB1, he was tipping hints and saying we're getting Justin Fields.
Does Ryan Pace run the Bears social media?
I don't know.
My column.
He's pulling the strings.
He is pulling the strings. And speaking of pulling the strings here, he kept doing that throughout the draft. Into round 2, traded from 52 up to 39. Traded up with Carolina, I believe it was. Got our guy, Tevin Jenkins.
We just call this the Ryan Pace episode?
Ryan, the name of this episode is Ryan Pace has huge balls. Write that down before we forget and name it something stupid.
But yeah, Tevin Jenkins. I mean, you have to love that pick at 39. We were talking last week, but we saw multiple mock drafts, and it seemed like the understanding was that if he was there at 20, that the Bears were going to go ahead and take him at 20 with their initial first round pick.
Yeah, we were saying, I mean, not that we were offensive line experts by any stretch of the imagination, but
we kind of just saw a picture of him. We're like, wow, that guy's big.
That guy fucks. Yeah, and we were saying, imagine just getting absolutely pancaked by this guy, just kind of this big goober wearing glasses.
If we cut it back in, I'll be like, yeah, sorry, I had to piss. Max has the bladder of a 75-year-old. No, it's all good. I just got a prostate exam. I get one every 3 days.
All right, we're back. That's how we're back. So the camera was on him the whole time. So have you ever seen The Blind Side, Max? That's what I was trying to get at. You ever seen The Blind Side?
Yes, I've seen The Blind Side.
So it's the one scene where Michael Orr finishes his block and just runs this guy like all the way out of bounds and absolutely destroys him. Long story short, that's exactly what Tevin Jenkins does to everyone, to not actors, to D1 athletes. He gets
underneath the guy's shoulder pads and basically just picks him up.
Oh my God. So this is his quote. He said, "I'm a tough, nasty, physical motherfucker. A dude who won't shy away from hits, who wants to be physical, who wants to bust his ass." And then he said, "I'm sorry, can I swear on here?"
I already love him. I love that he's got the goggles too.
Yeah, I know.
Like
he's an absolute beast.
I hope he wears those goggles his entire career with the Bears.
I'll tell you what, if you're Ryan Pace and you're drafting Justin Fields 11, I don't give a shit what you do. You're drafting protection around him.
Oh my God. And that's so that's a great point. And I was going to say that next. And then after they take Jenkins later on in the 5th round, they take Larry Borum from Missouri. Like, what better way to protect your first round quarterback than drafting 13 feet and 650 pounds worth of 2 offensive linemen?
Just a whole bunch of man meat.
Like that's some force right there.
Saul's got man meat on his mind. This is a quote from former Mizzou Tigers quarterback Connor Bazelak. I don't know why I said former. Very well could be there right now. I'm not very up to date on Mizzou football, but thought this was a good quote on Larry Borum. One of the most consistent linemen I've ever played with. He's a guy that will do his job every play. He rarely gives up QB or pressures on the QB.
Yeah,
obviously, he's a 5th round pick, but I mean, Ryan Pace has had. He's a 2nd to 5th round guy.
Late round gems. He paces himself.
Well, I mean, and I guess kind of we'll step away from the draft for a half second here, and I mean, late round pick that Ryan Pace had a few years ago, Charles Leno Jr. They released him today.
Yeah,
right?
they did. I saw that.
So I don't know what the line's going to look like exactly, but you have to think at least Tevin Jenkins is definitely a starter next year.
Right.
And
Agreed.
maybe this Larry Borum guy is.
I mean, I'm sure
he's
he'll get
right there
mixed
with
in.
him.
Seems like I did see that he's pretty good in pass protection. So we'll see.
Run the damn ball.
Well, speaking of run the damn ball, they did pick up a running back.
Yeah, why don't you tell me about this guy, Khalil Herbert?
Khalil Herbert. So he actually started his college career at Kansas, and then he transferred, I think, in his final year to Va Tech. And he was top 5 in the FBS in yards per carry in 2020, which is nothing to sneeze at. It's pretty damn good. His player comp is Mike Davis, but I mean, they don't really need a guy that's going to fill in and be a starter right away. They kind of need a guy that can come in and do a bunch of different jobs, and it sounds like that's what Khalil Herbert can do. Sounds like he returned kicks for Va Tech as well.
So I got a question for both of you guys here. Saul, I definitely want your opinion because your Steelers drafted a fucking running back in the 1st round. You pud.
Are you big mad? Are you big mad that we have a good running back now?
No, I don't give a shit because I think running backs are a dime a dozen. And it leads me right into my question. Segue alert. Would you ever draft? Do you think it makes sense to ever draft a quarterback before like a running back before the 4th round? Just considering how quick the turnover is. They're a dime a dozen.
You're going to say this is a bad example, but what about Saquon? Obviously, the guy's hurt.
Okay, exactly. Bad example.
So my first
show me one running back that's like really over the past 10 years.
Zeke has definitely been.
Is he worth his money? Is he though?
So that was my argument
is he
originally.
Really?
When everyone's like, "Oh, Najee Harris," and I was like, you see Saquon Barkley, you see Christian McCaffrey, you see
Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah, insert fucking running back name here, Sequins Barkley. And cousin of Charles and Charles. But I was like, those dudes are the best running backs in the league. And guess what? They're not fucking winning games. So what does it really matter? I was all in an offensive line 1st round for the Steelers. They got their running back. That's great because we had the 32nd, dead last fucking run game in the league last year. So can't get any worse. It's going up from here, but I don't know.
I agree with
even
that.
If you
build your offense up front,
but if he plays really well, that's worth it.
Games won and lost in the trenches.
It's been proven that you build your offense up front in the NFL. You have a good
and that's what
offensive line. Anyone can fucking run behind those guys.
That's exactly. I mean, look at David Montgomery. Well, he was a 3rd round pick, I believe.
Yep.
I mean, so maybe my question was a little off base, but I mean, look at Zeke. Yeah, so Zeke, obviously great running back, and nobody's saying that he's not a great player. But so after he's his first 4 years, he signed a new contract, another big contract. I guess that's almost maybe that's a better question to ask. Would you sign a running back to a big contract?
But yeah, I think that's a different question. Obviously, Zeke paid off his draft capital or draft investment within his first 4 years or whatever. But then when you talk about getting that second deal, that's where it gets questionable with the running back. But then it almost that much wear and tear.
That almost ties into the where you draft a running back, because if you want to, in the first, I'll say at least first 2 rounds, we'll go 2 rounds, 2 or 3 rounds here. In those rounds, you're drafting someone, and you're not hoping for them just to be on your team for 4 years. You want as long term as possible, which is more than 4 years, correct?
Right.
And I just don't think with a running back, if they get to that
Continue
second
feeding your
deal,
theory. Continue feeding into your theory. You'll get the Chiefs drafting Clyde Edwards-Helaire last year. Best offense in the NFL, maybe in like NFL history. And he shows up to the Chiefs, and he really was kind of considered almost a bust. Like, obviously like a little bit of a smaller dude, but I get what
they
you're
had
saying.
they had Damian Williams in there the year they won the Super Bowl. And I don't know if anybody heard of Damian Williams before the Super Bowl.
Or when James
what I
White
mean?
was was he the Super Bowl MVP for the Pats?
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a
I
stat
agree.
out there that
You build your team in the NFL up front. I love what Pace did with Jenkins and Borum right after Fields. I hope those guys wind up being pretty solid up front for the Bears.
I think there's a stat out there that the past 10 Super Bowl champions, none of them have had a running back with an average salary of more than like 3 million or 5 million, something along those lines. I definitely saw that right around the Super Bowl. Long story short, like they all the running backs were low cost options. I mean, if you look at, I guess just the previous years, like Damian Williams from 2 years ago, Leonard Fournette this year, James White, LeGarrette Blount, like for 6 different years with the Patriots and the Eagles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So CJ Anderson, look at me.
Look at you.
Look at me, long hair. And I guess that just proves I think I just proved my point. I'm right.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you might as well grab a guy that had a nice season in a later round, a guy that isn't going to play every down, like we said. They already had Montgomery and Tariq Cohen, but he can spell both those guys. The only weakness, or one glaring weakness, I guess I saw about him is he's not great in pass protection. But
Khalil Herbert, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. I think he was the 5th ranked running back in the draft, like 90th or 95th prospect overall. But I mean, those numbers don't mean a goddamn thing.
When you're getting him that late, it's you need someone to fill the spot, and I think he could do it.
Listen, he's gonna be running behind. So let's see: Tevin Jenkins, James Daniels, Sam Mustipher, Cody Whitehair, Larry Borum.
Yep.
Is that the starting line?
I believe it is right now.
Look at me.
And then they had a couple other picks in the 6th round. Actually, they went Daz Newsome, wide receiver from North Carolina. Pretty cool name, actually. Daz.
I was about to say, sweetest name.
Right. Clocked a 4.3840. Not slow. And he's
fast?
another guy who could return punts and kicks. So you see that Khalil Herbert can return kicks. Daz Newsome can return kicks. Definitely, obviously trying to fill the void of Cordarrelle Patterson being gone, which is nice to see too.
All right, over under 1.5 kick and punt return touchdowns for the Bears this year.
I'm gonna go over.
So you're gonna say at least 2.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, May 3rd, 9:54, 8:54. We'll mark this down, and when the second one hits, we'll cut this clip right here, and we'll give you your praise.
Perfect.
You're
Is that
welcome.
the actual team over under right now, or did you just make that up?
All the over unders are just set. I just make them up in my head.
That'll probably wind up being what it is.
You know what I was thinking the other day? The over unders that we did with the Cubs with Tony and Andy, Tony and Jackie and Andy Martinez. I think I made up the Jock one 33.5, and Tony and Andy just fucking laughed at me. They're like,
they laughed and said over.
They laughed and handed me their money.
Another 6th round pick. And it seems like Pace just went for value in the 6th round. Like all 3 of the guys he took, I saw plenty of reports saying that they easily could have been taken in like the 3rd or 4th round. I don't know if they slipped. They all had different reasons for sliding back in the draft a little bit. Thomas Graham Jr., cornerback out of Oregon.
Irish cricket.
Had a really solid season in 2019, but he opted out of 2020 because of COVID. And PFF, Pro Football Focus, had him ranked as the 76th best prospect in the draft overall. And the Bears got him at 228.
Yeah, from what I've heard about that guy, that he's like a ball hawker, I guess you could
Yes.
say. He's just always around the ball. I don't think his
I think he had
his
8
combi-
interceptions over his career
combine.
at Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know if his combine numbers were stand out, but he's always in the right place at the right time.
Yes, it seems like he makes plays on the ball. Like he's
Going-
not afraid. He's good. I saw that his hips are fluid. Look at me. Now look at me. I sound like a scout now.
I love the term oily hips.
You guys got oily hips.
I say that when I'm trying to twerk. I'm like, look at these oily hips. That's because I'm naked with oil over myself.
Saw him that day at Peanuts on the senior bar crawl. He had oily hips that day.
And nips, dude.
I think that's where the term oily.
Oh, baby.
That's where the term oily hips started.
That's a fact.
It was
I'm gonna trademark it.
It was 4:00 on a Wednesday, and Sam had oil on his nipples at the bar.
Oily hips. But yeah, no, the only real knock I've seen on Thomas Graham is he's not that fast. I think his 40 time was like 4.5, close to 4.6, something like that. And his play style kind of fits more so with his zone scheme, which I guess the Bears typically play a lot of zone defense. So
Yeah, but we don't. The Sean Desai, I don't know what he's going to play. He's going to be more like Vic Fangio, which I don't think is zone, is it? Or is it zone? Whatever.
No,
We're
I
not
don't
going to
know.
act like we're fucking. We're not going to act like we're the extra two fucking those. We're just reading stats, and he's got a sweet name too. Daz Newsome. I was looking up. So you're saying he's 4.38 40 time, correct?
Yep.
So how about this stat? Daz Newsome ranked 10th in the nation among receivers with 19 broken tackles in 2019.
I like
He was in the
that.
top 15 again in 2020. So
That's a nice stat. That's a fun stat.
that is a fun stat. I thought that was very fun when I read it as well.
So my brain immediately goes to you throw him a screen. Like that's a screen play at the yard at the line of scrimmage. Daz Newsome breaks
What
a
do you
couple
think-
tackles and takes his 4.38 40 time to the house.
So just random curveball question. Daz Newsome, sweet name, correct? What's the best name you've heard just in the draft? Or
Well, Daz Newsome kind of reminds me of a baseball name that came about recently, Jazz Chisholm.
former Coug,
That's a pretty sweet name.
former Cougar. Yeah, he's a great
Obviously,
guy.
doesn't
actually. Nicest
correctly
guy.
answer your question, but Daz and Jazz.
Well, I wanted to, I asked that because I really just wanted to bring this guy up. 6th-round pick for the Titans out of LSU. His name is Ray.
Ringleberry.
Yep. His name is Racy McMath.
Jesus Christ.
This
This guy had to be so good at time tests. Racy
So-
McMath.
I swear to God, dude, his name is Race. Look him up. His name is Racy McMath.
Come
His
on.
mom said that they named him Racy because when she was pregnant, it felt like he was always racing in her stomach.
Well, with a
I'm
name
not
like
kidding.
that, I'm telling you, in 3rd and 4th grade, no one was better at the time test, at the 60-second time test.
Racy McMath. Yeah, I mean, I'm reading it right now. Parents named him Racy due to the fact that during his mom's 9-month pregnancy, he never stayed still. According to his mom, it felt like he was just racing in my stomach. So we said, okay, that's going to be his name. Let's call him Racy.
It's funny that that's like the top quote about the guy when he just got drafted in the NFL.
I mean, it's a pretty sweet name.
No.
I mean, if his name is Thomas Graham Jr., you don't
It's
really
like,
get
yeah,
any
all right,
stories
so-
of why you're
so-
Thomas Graham Jr.
It's like, all right, so what did he do in college? Well, I don't know, but he was racing around in his mom's stomach, and that's how he got his name.
I mean, theoretically, yeah, he was. He won that race. He won that McMath race.
I really don't want to talk about the Cubs and the Sox, but we can.
We could, we'll be quick because what do we have for time wise, Ty?
We are at 46 minutes.
Perfect. Are you kidding me? Are we professionals here? Oh wait,
I was
one more draft pick.
having
One more
fun
draft
talking
pick.
about the Bears because in my head right now, I see them at being 11-5 at worst.
11-6, 17 games this year. Come on,
Okay.
let's not fuck this up. I think that's the second time you've done this on the pod. So
Yes.
every time you do that, it's $1 into the party fund for our company party at the end of the year.
By the way, 12-5, not 11-6.
Math guy. Don't forget the last guy, D tackle. Fuck, how do you say this name? Khyir, Kyrus? Kyrus?
I couldn't tell if it was Chris or like Kyrus.
Yeah, he just goes by Chris. Tonga. He's a big motherfucker. Right up, run stopper is what he's known for.
That's got to be
Big
like
guy,
a Samoan
nose
name,
tackle.
right? He looks like a big like Samoan or Hawaiian dude, something
Like a Tonga truck, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's,
I haven't seen much on him. Have you?
not really. I just seen that he's an absolute unit. And he's definitely going to have good opportunity to learn from some of those big guys up front on the Bears defense.
Yeah,
Goldman, Hicks,
he looks like
Robert Quinn.
like an Eddie Goldman, maybe even a little bigger. He's like a short, wide. I guess he fell because he's got short arms. Shout out.
He kind of look like a Vita Vey.
Yes, that's who I couldn't think of the fucking name. I said Eddie Goldman. Probably the worst comparison. Looks like a Hawaiian, yeah, like a Hawaiian fatter Tyler Psalm.
Little Vita Vey.
Same height, yeah.
I know the pain, dude. I know that man's pain.
For those who don't know, our producer Ty, he's got I don't know how he's kind of short arms.
But I'm girthy as hell, baby, and that's all that matters. You know what I'm
That's why he
saying?
sits so close to his desk.
I can't reach the buttons otherwise. Do you want this? You want this podcast to go on or not?
You want me to press the fucking on button or off?
Literally just pressing on, off.
You still
On,
listening to
off.
NSYNC over there, dude?
Or you just twitch it on your own?
The booze is starting to kick in, dude.
So yeah, that's the Bears draft class there. What do we want to? Let's give grades. Everybody needs to give grades because that's the thing people do now.
I'm gonna give him a rock solid A.
Rock solid, eh?
Yeah,
Dude's rock
With that-
solid.
96%.
Speaking of Gareth.
You know, I just don't know enough about these players and the Bears overall.
Oh no, you're giving us your Steelers grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's easy. A lot of people are saying C, so I'll ride with that. I mean, we got a tight end who runs
got
like
you
a
through college.
4.940. Yeah.
You like to
no-
ride C's.
No kidding, dude. We got a tight end that runs like a 4.940. We got a running back that should be good, hopefully, and then we got some late round O linemen. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I love that you guys drafted Najee Harris, and then everybody's like, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna take linemen now in the next couple rounds." First pick after that, tight end.
Don't even get me started, bro.
Sweet. I'll just give him an A, not a rock solid A. I'll give him an A because
You're down at like a 94%, 93 maybe.
yeah. I'll give him 94 on the paint, which gets the job done.
Right.
Where yours is like 97 up and in,
Yes. High and tight.
swing and miss stuff.
The only
baseball
slight knock
references.
is obviously he had to trade next year's first round pick, but am I going to be
That's not a
complaining
knock.
when Justin Fields is marching into the playoffs and I'm blasting bear down Chicago Bears? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I'll
He's winning rookie of the year.
care what round we're picking next year.
You know what one of my favorite things is though about the draft and then like I'll say the days after the draft is that I've already seen mock drafts for next year.
My favorite thing about it is the Bears are 12-5 right now.
So the mock draft doesn't have them at 12-5. It has them picking 12th, which means I'm assuming if you're 12-5, you're maybe 5-12, you're getting there. I don't know. We'll say 7-10.
It's a 17
Right.
game season, but the Bears will somehow figure out how to finish 500.
8-1. Here we go.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, so like I said, I don't want to transition over to baseball because it's not as fun as the hype or the potential that the Bears could be bringing to Soldier Field this season. But we might as well talk about the Cubs and Sox for a little bit.
Who do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the Cubs. Duh.
Yeah, I was testing you there.
I got my Sandberg jersey on right now.
Cubs. How do I put this? Stink.
Last.
Not good.
We are bad.
I have a shit list of players, and it for whatever reason is continuing to grow. So I actually wrote this down. I wrote it down here. My shit list of players. First is Jason Adam. Fuck you. Next is Eric Sogard. Fuck you. David Bodie.
You're cool.
Fuck you. Trevor Williams. Fuck you. And then Dan Winkler. Your haircut sucks. Fuck you. So
That's a
those
nice
guys,
little
I
punch
don't
for
like
Dan
them.
Winkler.
Trevor Williams, I'll give reasons. Wait, Jason Adams just sucks in general. Eric Solgaard, his wife's a prick, from what I've heard. I don't know anything about him, so I guess it's more his wife. And he always just flies out to center field.
It's
So
kind of an
that's
interesting
actually more
way to describe a woman.
a prick.
That lady's a prick.
Why? Why
I
is
feel
that
like
a
usually
weird way?
a guy is a prick.
You've never heard somebody describe a lady as a prick?
No, but we don't need to get into that.
No, we do.
I don't know. I feel
Uh,
like a lady is like never, a prick is just like a guy's slang term.
Like Gal's a prick
Guy's a prick. Yeah.
for stealing Paul's tweet.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck you, Gal. David Bodie. Why does David Bodie play?
You tell me.
Why does he play?
Honorable mention.
No, you tell
What about-
me.
I don't have an answer for you. Literally, the only stats that he has that are respectable are, for some reason, his clutch batting average is like
It is pretty nice. It is pretty
above.
good.
It's like above 300, I think.
I don't understand why he starts. I don't understand it. And how did Nico? I know I defended it, but I defended Nico starting in the minors, but that wasn't me saying David Bodie has earned his chance.
Right.
And
Especially now that Nico
I did say that, I take it back.
Nico Horner's hitting 389 with a 500 on base percentage in his
Oh.
short time with the Cubs so far.
He's hitting 419 with runners in scoring position in his career.
I mean, what the fuck?
He's
First of all,
25 for 62.
He needs to be there. Pencil him in every day as the leadoff hitter until further notice.
I know today's game got canceled, but was he supposed to be in the lineup today?
I
You
didn't
know?
see the card. But I mean, he
Keep
needs
talking.
to be
I'm walking.
at the top of the order when he's getting on base at that clip.
This is actually outrageous. David Bodie was starting today at second, and Nico wasn't.
Oh my god!
Against
Like,
Walker
the charade is
Buehler.
over. The service time thing is fucking over. Just put him in. Just let the kid play. My question
David
is,
Bodie
why is
brings
Matt Duffy
absolutely
constantly
nothing.
batting third?
No. Like, are you mad that he's in the lineup, or are you mad that he's just batting third?
Honestly, both. But let's start with batting third.
Batting third. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's hitting like 275, but it's fucking Matt Duffy.
I think they won the game that he batted third, though.
Batted
No,
third against the
they
Braves.
didn't. No, they lost that game. Never mind.
Yeah.
What's his on base?
I think it's actually like right around 400, but still, he's Matt Duffy.
I don't think he should be batting third. I'm looking up his on
Thank
base
you.
right now
I don't
because
think
it's
he has
through
one
the
home
roof.
run. He might have one.
Nope. No. Shh. No. His on base is 407. To be honest, you're gonna call me crazy. I think Matt Duffy should be leading off.
Oh my god! Why not
What?
Nico?
It should be Duffy. Or if not Nico. Honestly, no, you're right. I think Nico should be playing every day and leading off.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's not.
Until it gets to a point where his fucking batting average is below 250 and his on base percentage is below 400.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how you have this guy not playing today against Walker Buehler, or have him routinely hitting seventh and eighth. It just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Matt Duffy, I mean, I don't have a single problem with him starting every day at third base, to be honest with you, because that way you could put Chris Bryant in, and like for the time being right now with Hap, who knows what's going on with him after that collision yesterday. Like today, Chris Bryant was supposed to start in center, Jock in left.
I did see that
Hayward and
he
right.
was in center. And they had actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I did see the lineup. Jock was leading off.
Yeah. So maybe that's something where I mean, actually, it still doesn't make sense because you easily could have put Bodie at third and Nico at second, or even Duffy. You kept Duffy at third and put Nico at second. I don't know why Nico wasn't in the
Put
lineup.
Bodie in fucking Tennessee on the Smokies.
Put him back in low A with the Kane County Cougars.
To sum up the Cubs, what I was going to say is they're dead last in the division, but KB is front and center in the NL MVP race.
Oh, he looks so good.
I mean, he is fucking as back as ever.
Oh, were you watching the game at all yesterday?
Yeah,
You're gonna say no. You did? You watched the game?
I did.
All the 2 home runs, it was almost identical to where he hit them.
Yep.
Obviously, like the location of the pitch, but what I liked was Tyler Malley's reaction each time. He just dropped his head, and even Tucker Barnhart, the catcher, just dropped his head, and they're like, oh,
they're like, fuck.
Fuck me.
They knew his swing looks so good. He looks just like he did in those Rookie of the Year and MVP seasons.
I don't know why, but for the slow motion high res 4K cameras that they have, the slow-mos, I love those, but specifically when it's Chris Bryant's swing. I don't know why, it just looks so much better.
So smooth. Yep.
Oh my God. I just break out the Jergens to it.
Well, he's got to be close to leading the league in home runs now with 9.
He's tied for the league with Castellanos, who just absolutely ass fucked us yesterday. Ronald Acuna, who ass fucked us the series before, and then JD Martinez, who cannot ass fuck us this year, thank God.
I mean, obviously we don't have a lot of good to say about the Cubs, but I will say that their bats yesterday came. They came to play. Showed up. Like
they definitely
12,
came. 12 runs.
12 fucking runs and didn't get a win.
So I'm smiling.
Like, what do you say in the locker room to your pitchers after that? It's just got to be dead silent in there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Who pitched yesterday?
Alec Mills. He gave up 3 runs.
I can never say a bad thing. I don't know why. Alec Mills could honestly have an ERA of like 9. I'd never say a bad thing about him. He threw a no-hitter.
He did.
People forget that.
With, I think, like 4 swing and misses or something.
How about Dylan Maples this year? I thought so. His
he's basically their first guy out of the pen. He's their first guy up.
I'm looking. I forgot his ERA. I'm looking it up really quick here, but
he's 1.52.
Did you hit? Is it on the notes here?
No.
You know it off your head?
I do. Is it 1.52?
1.42.
Ooh, okay.
So I saw this earlier. Dylan Maples has a 1.42 ERA, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts. However, in games that he's appeared, the Cubs are 1-8.
Okay, not great. Not great there.
That's
Is that
not
really
good.
his fault though?
No, not at all. I mean,
Just coincidental.
he's given up 2 earned runs all year, but he also has 9 walks. So I mean, he's still. I like where he's at, but so he's not on my shit list.
What I
How
don't
about-
like is how much Wilson has cooled off recently. His
Yeah, but
batting
he's-
average is now 238.
Yeah, whatever. Though they're, you know what, this team is, they're so streaky where like it could get warm here. And once it gets warm, the bats heat up. You know, like I feel like that's how it is for Hap, for Rizzo, and probably for most players. Jorge Soler.
It's true. I was gonna say about Rizzo. He's basically at this point. I mean, obviously it's early. They haven't even played 30 games yet. They don't even have 100 at bats. But Rizzo is basically playing himself right into that 5 years, $85 million contract.
Speaking of Rizzo, how about Amir Garret, that dust up on
Oh my
Saturday?
God, that was crazy.
Let's get in. Solomon, did you see that, brother?
I did not, but I saw your tweet saying how much you disliked him.
I mean,
Yeah,
that guy's a
glad
fucking
you did research for the program.
Hey, I'm here to push the buttons when you say start and stop. And that's my
Okay,
game.
that's
So leading up to the strikeout, did you see that Garrett was literally about 3 steps away from Rizzo in the batter's box and chirping him?
yeah. And I know they have a history, and it's not, I shouldn't say they as in Rizzo and Garrett, more Garrett and the Cubs. And I know Rizzo and the Reds going back to 2014 with Chapman.
Mhm.
But yeah, Garrett's a certified psychopath.
I mean, like, just chill out.
There's a difference between celebrating and then just straight up being a dick.
There's a difference between being
taunting.
good and bad. And he's fucking bad.
Do you know the best was so right after that happened and the bench is cleared, you know, like Cubs fans obviously not happy just getting their shots in, but Taylor McGregor just tweeted Amir Garret has a 12 point whatever ERA this
Right,
season.
exactly. So yeah, that's the next thing I was going to say. His ERA is 11.25 in 10 appearances.
Yeah, you can't be you can't act like you're the cock of the walk when your ERA is 12.
Right.
Sorry,
love-
can't do it.
I love Javi being the first guy flying out of the dugout too. Right. Right. Does not care that Amir Garrett's 6'6", 240, does not care about flipping the bird on live TV. All he cares about is defending his boy Riz.
Oh man, I love all the screenshots of him just going out there. And there's one where he looks like he's Bigfoot in the wild, where he's like striding. And then there's the other, like the close up where his eyes are so big, and then obviously him flicking off Garrett, and he's just like, fuck you, bitch.
Like,
oh
dude,
my God.
You can
Sign
say whatever
Javi
you
to a
want about
lifetime contract.
Say whatever you want about Javi Baez, but tell me that doesn't want you. That doesn't
make you
want them to extend the shit out of his contract.
Yeah, it does. And then he pimped one yesterday, hit an absolute tater. So I'm back in on signing Javi for right now.
Well, he got
considering that was his last at bat.
His numbers are a little more respectable. His batting average is 245 now. He's got 7 homers. He leads the team in RBIs.
Has the longest current active hitting streak right now. Well, it's only 9, but still that's something.
The best thing about Baez from that game, though, is the quote in his press conference afterwards. He goes, "I hit 3 homers against him, and I didn't do anything to show him up or his team." Just like a nice little subtle jab. It's like, yeah, dude, I hit 3 home runs off you, and I haven't done shit.
You know, it's so when Javi pimps it, it's like he pimps it in his own way, where he doesn't like throw the bat. He just kind of stands there and then just like drops it just straight down and just has like the chains out.
He just admires his work.
Yeah, it's exactly what he does. And I'm sure there's old baseball purists out there who are pissed at that type of stuff, but I don't care. I like it. I think that's fun. That's good family fun. So talking about the Cubs, today they were playing the Dodgers. Dodgers last year won the World Series. Do you know when the last time the Cubs played a defending World Series champion?
The last time they played
in the regular season. I guess it wouldn't matter. They haven't played a defending World Series champion in the postseason, but just in general.
I don't.
2015 when they played the Giants.
Wow.
2016 didn't play the Royals. Obviously, in 2017 they were the defending champs.
Right.
2018 didn't play the Astros. 2019 didn't play the Red Sox. 2020 didn't play the Nationals. Let's go to the Sox. Luis Robert, RIP.
Yeah, shit. That's tough news for the Sox today. They're just taking blows left and right.
Seriously, goddamn. And they'll still probably win the division.
Funny thing was, I sent the text out to a random group chat today, and I was like,
to a random girl today.
Yes, and I was like, this is not how I wanted the Sox to go down. Like I wanted to see them choke. I did not want to see them get hosed by injuries.
Yeah, you want misery loves company, and you wanted them to be miserable too, but not the way that they are miserable. You want a heartbreak. You want them to be up 2 in the bottom of the 9th in a clinching game, and then give up some bullshit 3-run homer to Rajay Davis.
At first, he was on like the 10-day IL. They didn't really give him the full examination or whatever. I think they did an MRI, and I was out for like 3 to 4 months. So, I mean,
yeah.
Just imagine the difference of that lineup with Eloy and Robert in there.
Do you know who's replacing them? Do we know that? Are we that in tune with the Sox?
They called up some minor leaguer.
Danny Mendick?
Probably.
Mendick?
But yeah, I mean, they got Crochet on the IL too now.
Lance Lynn is back.
Lance Lynn just came back, actually.
So there was a Jeff Passan tweet or a report from Jeff Passan that for some in the White Sox clubhouse, patience growing thin regarding Tony La Russa's managerial decisions.
I mean, that's hilarious. That they're not even 30 games in, and that's already being swirling around in the clubhouse. Obviously, fans are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, when Tony La Russa was hired, I actually liked the move. To be honest, I thought he managed Albert Pujols and who else?
Scott Rowland, Jim Edmonds,
Mark McGuire. I'm going back. Jose Canseco, and I know that's 30 years ago. And I know Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire are completely different players and personalities than Yohan Moncada and Tim Anderson. But still, this guy's literally in the Hall of Fame. Like,
And then he got the DUI.
cool, Max Jones has a DUI.
And then he starts doing all kinds of crazy shit with their lineup, and you start to think maybe this guy is not really suited to be the coach of the White Sox.
It's not. I mean, I can't say
Handling their
it's
bullpen
not
like
looking
shit.
great. Yeah, I don't know. Sox are. I mean, they're 15-12. They've won 7 of 10, so can't say they're doing terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But
Their bats have woken up recently.
how about Carlos Rodon? I don't even know if we talked about his no-hitter. I know that was a couple weeks ago. I think that was the Flynn episode.
I'm not
We
sure
just
if we
didn't
did.
talk about it. Yeah, we could just. That was sweet. That was fun.
I mean, it
I
was
was
sweet,
talking
but it
his
was also
no-hitter.
kind of bullshit. It should have been a perfect game.
No, it shouldn't have. I have no problem with that guy. I mean, it was a sweeping
Took one
slider
on
on
the
his back.
toe.
I mean,
I have no
yeah, I
problem
guess.
with that, but as a hitter, I think in that situation, personally, I would have tried to get out of the way. That's just me.
So at what point are you? I mean, a 5-run game with. You're telling me you couldn't put up. I mean, I know he's obviously dominant. Nobody's been on base, but you're telling me a team can't put up 5 runs with with 2 outs. You know what I mean? Or with there was
2.
no with
Right.
2 outs. No, there was 1 out in the inning. So I'm saying with 2 outs to play. There, trust me.
I'll trust you, dude. I'll trust
Trust me,
you.
bitch.
Trust you. Either way, I mean, it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, obviously the odds are very slim, but you're in the major leagues. You're
perfect game
trying to
in the
win a
ninth,
baseball.
You're doing
game.
whatever you can to get out of the way of a hit by pitch.
Me
Not-
personally,
I
yes.
know
but
when
I
it's a
don't. I don't
5-run
hate the
game, but-
move to not move. Like he didn't do anything wrong. Like he got hit. It was all.
And it's
fair and
also
square.
not like he just stood there. He did slide his feet a little bit, but I would not want to be that guy.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at what run threshold are you like, okay, this game is over? I mean, 5 runs. You're telling me a team can't score 5 runs before making 2 outs? Come on.
5 is a lot. They didn't score any for the first 25 outs.
Yeah, when a dude's throwing.
I know, but I'm
no-nos,
saying just in the grand scheme of baseball.
I give it like a 6% chance that it could have happened.
So you're telling me you're
Not even
gonna
6, maybe like 2.
Yep.
So exactly, you have 2% chance that you somehow win if you take this pitch. Yeah, okay, you know what? Or take this pitch off the foot. You're fucking right. I'm doing it. Don't throw it where it could hit my foot. Then
I would have been. I'd
I
be
agree.
more fired up for him if he didn't move at all. Like if he just stood there and wore it on his foot. But obviously,
Yeah.
he did try and get out of the way a bit. So
He kind of. I mean, it was like he moved like he had cinder blocks on his feet. But I guess yeah, he moved. But whatever. Congrats to Carlos. He looks like Big Cat. You ever notice that?
yeah, I guess he does a little.
He looks like Big Cat. Yeah, but dude, he's dominant right now. 0.72 ERA, 36 Ks through 25 innings, 4 wins, 0.64 WHIP.
Yeah, I mean he's got to be the front runner for the Cy Young in the AL.
He could have been on the Cubs. He should have been on the Cubs this year, but
We don't talk about that.
we do not talk about that. What else do we got?
So speaking of them waking up the bats, this was actually a question I wanted to ask you. What's your favorite routine for waking up the bats during a slump?
Slump busters?
Yeah,
What's
we
my
could go with
favorite?
that. We could go that route.
What's my favorite slump buster? Let's see. Okay. Usually probably just take a Xanax and complain to someone
Okay.
because I'm
does
having a
that work?
panic attack.
Then
I'm
what,
just
you
having
go
a
for
panic
4?
attack. Yeah, that one didn't actually work, but that just seemed to be something I did a lot. No, I actually had when I was in high school, one of our coaches literally took all the bats out of the bat rack and just threw them on the field and said, "I'm waking the bats up."
That's actually, I mean, it's pretty straightforward and everyone does it, but it's always funny when a coach flies into the dugout and just kicks the bats around.
Yeah.
Like shit's getting knocked over. There's a kid that's like this.
Yeah, little Andrew in the corner with the red
Yes.
hair, glasses.
I always like that one.
I'm trying to think. I mean,
What about going to like a fast food restaurant?
no,
That'll
I
wake up
hate
the bats.
that will wake up your ass. Bubble guts. Nah, I'm trying to think of a slump buster. I would. Oh, actually, again, none of these worked as I
You wear
played
your
D3
socks inside
baseball.
out.
No.
Sleep with your jock strap on your face. What do you do?
Well, yeah, that's just for my sleep insomnia. I would take batting practice righty, and I'm a lefty.
Really?
Maybe that's why none of these worked. Yeah, I would. I mean, I wouldn't take the whole thing. You know, I'd go in there and just take a couple swings righty.
Okay.
Or what I like to do is I'd like to go to the driving range and just mash golf balls every direction. Do I know where they're going? No, but it seemed to work. That actually seemed
Tell
to
everyone
work.
to get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with C, the driving range.
Okay. That's a good one. That plays well.
How about you?
Final
What would
answer.
your slump buster be?
I don't know. I don't really have one, to be honest.
Did you never slump?
I was just in a permanent slump.
I mean, Lisa Ann always did the trick, but I didn't know if we could put that in there.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta have like a certain meal. Like
Like
you
what?
gotta have like mom's fajitas or something like that.
Mom's what?
Fajitas.
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 Knees big
Tamales.
mom's fajitas.
Yep.
Doesn't have a
How about you?
ring to it, dude.
How about you, Sam? When you played, what was your slump buster?
I didn't slump like you said, dude, but you know, Moises Alou like to pee on his hands. When I was in a slump, I would just shit right in my hands. Just mash it together like a fucking monkey, dude.
You must have been
then-
in a lot of slumps because I've seen you do that quite often.
We also
it's
saw
either
that
when I'm
at Peanuts.
slumping or when I'm hammered drunk. So it happens.
At Peanuts with
occasionally.
oils on your nipples.
Yeah, you're getting it, dude.
I can't think of another way to end this episode than the image of Psalm shitting in his hands and clapping together before going up to bed.
It's what the people want, really.
Oh God. On that note, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, that's a good way to end. I don't really want to talk to you guys about anything else after that, so we'll close it there.
We could give a happy birthday shout out to Max B.
No, we can't.
Yeah, we can, dude. And,
Happy birthday.
And we have a whole quartet here to sing you happy birthday.
3, 2, 1.
I wanted a mariachi.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, right up there on Cinco de Mayo. It's pretty close.
Here, yeah, just fade it out like this with Kyle singing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you,
Mr. President.
Happy birthday, Max B.
Listen
Happy
to Shy Sports
birthday
Weekly.
to you.
Bingo. And that's a wrap.